Thanks so much for joining me, Tits and Giggles, this week. So this is going to be a great week. I have a great topic. I'm going to be talking about like hyperpigmentation on your boobs, boob discoloration, moles, and because it is Birthmark Awareness Month, we're going to be talking about birthmarks on the body. So yeah, I have a great guest who is an expert in birthmarks. So yeah, let's welcome our first guest.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
All right. So, as you know, well, you know, it's Birthmarks Awareness Month. So I felt like it would be great to interview you for what you do on your platform. You do a lot. So, can you tell the viewers just a little bit about your platform and about yourself?
Sure. So once again, thank you so much for having me. My name is Dominique, and I am the creator of Hueversity. It's an inspirational community that celebrates and promotes those with birthmarks. Throughout the week, I will, either show myself or someone else who has a birthmark and provide an inspiring message. Because for many years, I struggled with my birthmark, and I just wanted to have a positive space for others that were struggling, to feel inspired about being unique.
All right, girl. I feel that uniqueness, girl, because I'm unique, girl. As you can see today, I got a lot going on, girl. Erica Badu and Jill Scott, they just inspired me to be my true self, So also this week, I also was inspired by Real Housewives of Atlanta. Even though it really don't have nothing to do with birthmarks, it has something to do with women's breasts. Eva was told off by Portia.
Girl, them titties is aged hands. They social distancing. Bitch, don't come for me.
So Portia told Eva that her titties are social distancing. So, I was just like, we can have a whole episode, whether it's about birthmarks, stretch marks, just marks on women's bodies that can cause their boobs to look like it's social distance.
She mentioned social distancing. Did she mean they were like going lower, or they were like going down here, or like this?
Spread apart, girl. And then, I got a lot of, what do you call it? I have a lot of stretch marks, and I have a lot of marks on my boobs that may look like it's, give the illusion of social distancing titties, and these are not really birthmarks, but I don't know, girl, you see all these like different discolorations and stuff that I have on my body, on my boobs?
I do.
So, and then I got like this is like a mole. I think I've been having this. I think this is a birthmark. I've been having this for the longest, but do you have any like birthmarks or any like type of marks on your body? On your boobs that
I do have a mole on my breast, actually. My birthmark is on my leg, but I have like the stretch marks on my breast, and I have the mole that's on my breast. So
are moles considered birthmarks too?
I think it would depend, because I've seen some people who have like freckles all on their face, and I've seen the moles all on their face, and they would consider that to be a birthmark, even though it's categorized as a mole. So I think it can be a birthmark too.
Yeah, because I know when I was doing a lot of research on this subject, a lot of women, I haven't seen a lot of women with birthmarks on their boobs, but I actually have seen a lot of women with freckles all over their boobs. And then if they have had like birthmarks, it's been like a section that covers their boobs and the rest of their body.
Right, exactly. And that's pretty much what a birthmark is. It's just either a different complexion or tone of your original skin tone.
So is there any, like, for people who have discoloration on their boobs, such as myself, because I scratch myself in my sleep, and then like I realized I scratch my body in general. I don't know why, some crazy shit. But I realized that like the boobs are really a sensitive place on the body. Like the skin is probably on my entire body the most sensitive around my boobs and my face. So like, is there any type of like ingredients that I can use in terms of like to help tone out my boobs?
I'm going to have to hit you with the oldie. Cocoa butter. That's the only thing that I can think of that would help with stretch marks. Of course, there's some other things that I've tried to use, like BioSkin, and I believe that's for scars and stretch marks. But at least cocoa butter and biotin are two things that I have used on my body. And I think another thing, you have to be careful how you're exfoliating that area, because I found myself, being a little bit too rough in that area. And then I'm like, hey, what happened? I don't know about you, but do you have like little whiskers around your like areola?
You talking about like nipple hair? Yeah, I do, girl. And I just pluck them bitches. I don't care, girl.
That's another thing that can cause scarring. That can cause scarring because of how we're handling that, And I have seen, like, I'm looking and I'm like, oh, that must have been like where a little hair was. And then I have like a little scar over there. So we have to be careful of those.
You more brown you more lighter than me, girl, because mine, I don't think nothing of it. I just be like thinking it's a part of the areola color, girl. When I be plucking my little, I don't really pluck, when I got a hot date or something, girl. Because other than that, I'm like, ain't nobody else seeing my boobs. It is what it is.
I don't think we should be plucking around the areola or those hairs. I mean, it is what it is, just like our...
So you don't think we should pluck our areola hair?
I don't think so.
I'm not, my strands are long, girl. I gotta pluck my stuff.
I wouldn't pluck the areola hairs. I've never even heard anybody plucking their areola hairs.
I'm the only one, girl. I guess I'm the only one.
I'm sure the men don't mind, right?
With you, where are your birthmarks on your body?
So I actually have two. I have one on my stomach, and then I also have one on my leg. And the one on my leg is considered a cafe au lait birthmark.
What does that mean, girl? We don't know. The viewers don't know what that means, sis, unless they got birthmarks.
Cafe au lait is described as milk and coffee. So you know how your coffee is brown, and then when you pour the milk, it kind of turns into a tan color? That's exactly how I would describe my birthmark. I'm like a shade of mocha, and then my birthmark is like a vanilla color. Like,
what were the exact hardships that you experienced growing up with birthmarks? And what about other women out there? What would you say would be their biggest struggle with these birthmarks?
I would say the biggest struggle is definitely accepting yourself when you are unique and you have a physical attribute about yourself that people can physically see. I think we all struggle with something, but when it's physical and somebody sees you and they want to size you up based on something that's unique about you, I think that's one. One of the hardships that I experienced growing up was being called ugly and saying that my birthmark needed to be covered up. And so someone telling me that my birthmark was ugly and that it needed to be covered up.
Yeah, they're talking about people's birthmarks. Dang, they cutting deep to everything about you. When I was young, they were just talking about my hair texture. And now they up there, these kids, they was analyzing your body back in the day.
Yes. I mean, I've been called all type of things, black anise, white, because, I was speaking proper and things of that nature. But someone looking at me and saying you're ugly and not even trying to get a chance to know me, that really hurt me. And so I would say another hardship that I experienced was like, I'm in Texas, and Texas is very hot, humid down here. I've also lived in Georgia, and it has the same type of effect. So instead of wearing shorts on a hot day, I would cover myself up with pants or jeans. And it's just, ain't nobody got time for that now.
Looking at that. Girl, you was doing a lot back in the day for these little demon children. They would have got their ass beat with me, but
I can say honestly, the little in me back then didn't know how to advocate for herself.
Was you like that with your boobs too? Like, was it not just your birthmark? Was it also because I know you, I know that your boobs are kind of big. Was it also because your boobs was big, or was it mostly because of, the birthmarks?
To be honest, I was also self-conscious about my breasts as well. I was very well endowed in like third grade, and I would typically cover myself up with like a sweater or a jacket because I didn't want to draw that attention. And then when I did start embracing my breasts, I get all kind of interruptions.
Girl, right, they forgot all about your birthmarks, girl. Once you start embracing your boobs, girl.
it's been, you know, it's been something just trying to embrace and be body positivity about yourself. But, you know, I embrace them now because a lot of people pay for breasts my size.
How big are you?
So I am a 34H.
Girl,
think about the same size as you.
Girl, right? My back, I'm like 36 though. I'm about 36. But dang, girl, we struggling out here. People don't know.
I know for a long time I had back problems, and that was because I was wearing the wrong type of bra. You know, 34 triple D. Well, that's not the size. You know, I needed to increase my cup size. So it's important that women know the correct bra sizes so they won't have those issues down the line.
They was talking about Tyra Banks, girl, back in the day, and you know, they was talking about Tyra Banks telling people to close their gaps and telling people to do all this other stuff.
Do you really think you can have a CoverGirl contract with a gap in your mouth?
Yeah, why not?
This is all people see. It's Easy Reads Beautiful CoverGirl.
I mean, this is amazing. But what's not amazing is your appearance. Think a little bit more glamour as opposed to natural.
3, 2, 1.
No, I can't.
We are chopping your hair off.
I was going to say, you know, I recently saw that because comments like that for, you know, people growing up without that representation will think that gaps and things of that nature, gaps, birthmarks, moles, and all of that, will think something like that is wrong. And, you know, I have braces now, and I actually had a gap. So it's like I'm sitting up here trying to close my gap because of what society says is beautiful. But in different countries, like in Africa, they consider gaps beautiful.
What country in Africa is this? We need to go visit, girl. And shout out to all the African men out there. My last guest for last week, she works in fashion. So she was saying how she's seeing models with stretch marks, models with all types of different marks on their bodies that are looking like, you know, this natural woman out. Instead of like, they're not touching up photos. Do you see it yourself as in people are embracing birthmarks as well as women with big boobs out there being models and modeling different clothes? Or you think it's still a little bit of a challenge?
I think we have progressed with our representation. I think a lot of brands are starting to recognize that diversity and inclusion actually matters. I see more women that reflect larger sizes. I've seen women with stretch marks. I've seen some campaigns where women do have, you know, skin conditions. And I think that's what matters. Without that representation, someone small like myself who was struggling will continue to struggle because they didn't have that representation. I originally started Hueversity in regards to celebrate and promote those that have birthmarks. But I think along the lines of being body conscious and promoting the uniqueness about yourself, I think it all ties into it because some messages are not just related to birthmarks, but just accepting who you are and owning what's different about you and owning what's unique about yourself. You can't allow somebody's perception of how they perceive beauty to tell us or define what's beautiful for us. You can follow me at Hueversity on Instagram and Facebook with more things that's coming up. So thank you for having me and acknowledging Birthmarks Awareness Month. I don't think so because, you know, that part of our body is covered up for the most part, unless you're wearing
Girl, my boobs be out, girl. My boobs be out.